All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into something I think pretty fascinating,
Oh, yeah.
the world of painting.
Okay.
And we've got some excerpts here from a text called The Art of Painting.
Sounds pretty broad.
It is. It is. And, just glancing through it already, I'm sensing this is going to be about a lot more than, just slapping some colors on canvas.
I'd hope so. We'll see.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So one of the things that really jumped out at me right at the beginning here was this description of painting as like a noble medium.
Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah.
do. It really kind of hints at that power that painting has, to be this visual journey of like thoughts and emotions.
And a visual journey, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It really does feel like a journey, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
When you look at a painting and kind of get lost in it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
What strikes me is how painting manages to kind of stand apart from, other forms of art. Like, we have music to express emotion,
Yeah.
but painting captures it in this visual form that feels
Yeah.
like both permanent,
No.
and also like really resonant, like it lingers with you.
Oh, absolutely. And I think part of that is the fact that it can, really capture this like fleeting moment in time.
Right.
Like it's not just a visual record of a scene or a person.
Yeah.
But it's more than that, right? It's like this invitation to really step into the artist's perspective.
Interesting.
To really feel what they were feeling when they created it, You can almost like touch the emotions on the canvas.
Wow. That's a great way to put it. Touch the emotions on the canvas. And speaking of different perspectives, that's another thing that this text really highlights is just how many different styles of painting there are out there.
Right.
It's like you go from realism to abstract to expressionism. The list goes on and on and on. It's kind of overwhelming in a way, but it's also really exciting.
It is exciting.
It really is.
It's like almost like having a conversation with the world in 1,000 different languages, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you think about it, each style really offers a unique filter, for how we can see the world around us.
Like how we interpret what we see.
Exactly. I mean, just imagine, standing before a hyper-realistic portrait, every single detail meticulously rendered, like down to the last pore.
Oh,
You're almost looking through a window into that person's soul,
I get that.
But then, shift your focus to an abstract expressionist work, and suddenly you're swept away by like this raw emotion, The energy of the brushstrokes themselves, they're telling a story, That might be totally different than the realistic portrait, but just as powerful.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
It reminds me of something I was reading about Rothko's abstract paintings.
Oh, yeah.
And how people have been like moved to tears.
Right.
Yeah, moved to tears by these paintings, even though they're just blocks of color.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible.
It's like they tap into something universal.
Yeah.
Beyond words.
Absolutely. That's a really great point, I think abstract art, it does in its own way, it speaks to something, like you said, deeper within us, evoking these feelings that might be harder to pin down in a realistic depiction.
Yeah.
It goes beyond simply mimicking the world, right?
Right.
And instead it's aiming to express the essence of an emotion or an experience.
Almost like distilling it,
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Boiling it down to its purest form.
Yeah.
So fascinating. And then of course, the text goes on to talk about the different mediums artists use, to create these paintings.
Right.
And I've always been curious about how oils and acrylics and watercolors, how each of those brings something different to the table.
Yeah, I understand.
So what are some of the key things that make them so distinct, in their expressive possibilities?
Well, each medium really, really has its own unique personality, you could say.
Okay, interesting.
Oils, for instance, have this incredible richness and depth.
Oils, yeah.
Think of the old masters and how they would build up these layers of paint, using this technique called glazing to create these luminous effects. And it allowed for such intricate detail, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It's amazing what they could achieve.
It is.
Yeah.
Then you've got acrylics, which are, incredibly versatile.
Acrylics.
And they dry very quickly, that fast drying time. It allows for techniques like impasto, where you're applying these, thick layers of paint to create these textured surfaces.
Oh.
Think of Van Gogh's swirling skies, how he achieved that.
Oh, I see. I see.
And then you have the delicate beauty of watercolors, right? Their
Right.
translucence, it really lends itself to capturing this subtle interplay of light and shadow, you know?
Yeah.
So beautiful, so ethereal.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost dreamy,
Exactly.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate the skill involved,
Yeah.
in choosing the right medium
Oh, absolutely.
to bring a particular vision to life.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of the creative process, isn't it?
It is. It is, yeah.
And speaking of, the creative process and all that, the text talks about viewing a painting as kind of a shared journey with the artist.
Yeah.
And I really love that idea.
It's a good one.
But I have to admit, sometimes, when I look at art, I feel, I don't know, I'm kind of missing something.
Oh, yeah.
Like how do I get beyond just seeing the surface
Hmm.
to really connect with what the artist is trying to convey?
Right. Well, that's where I think active viewing really comes in.
Okay. Active viewing.
Yeah, it's about more than, just passively looking at a painting.
Yeah.
It's about engaging with it,
Yeah.
Bringing your own experiences, your own memories, your own emotions to the equation.
Okay.
Think of it like this, right? The artist has laid the groundwork.
Okay.
They've crafted the visual language, but it's up to you as the viewer to complete the circuit,
Interesting.
The painting becomes like this catalyst.
Catalyst. Okay.
Yeah, triggering personal interpretations and connections.
So you're saying that like, two people can look at the same painting but have completely different takeaways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of the beauty of it, right?
Wow.
The artist might embed certain symbols or use specific colors to evoke certain emotions,
Yeah.
But ultimately, how those elements resonate with you will depend on your own unique perspective.
So it's really kind of a dialogue then.
It is a
Yeah.
conversation. The artist, the artwork, and the viewer.
Oh, that's really interesting. It almost makes art sound subjective.
Mhm.
Like there's no right or wrong way to experience it.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course there are intended meanings and historical context to consider.
Right, right.
But I do believe that, that personal connection, that's really paramount.
Yeah.
Art, it has this incredible power to really tap into, our individual memories and emotions to create a unique experience for each viewer.
Yeah, yeah. That makes so much sense. It's like the artist is providing the map,
Right.
but we each,
Exactly.
choose our own path through the landscape of the painting.
Yeah, and speaking of the vast landscape of art, the text also points to, like a curated collection of paintings.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, and it's really highlighting this incredible diversity and evolution of this art form.
Right.
It drives home the point that there's a whole universe of artistic expression out there
Yeah, there is.
waiting to be explored,
Hey, a universe with a style for everyone,
Absolutely.
a story for every eye.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing to think about how painting has persisted through time, from cave paintings to the contemporary art scene we see today.
Yeah.
It's this language that transcends time and culture
Absolutely.
and really gives us a glimpse into the hearts and minds of people across, I don't know,
Yeah. It's
generations.
cross generation.
What an incredible journey this has been today.
Yeah.
I mean, we've explored the power of painting to express, to connect, to evoke,
Yeah.
and even,
Right.
to challenge sometimes.
Yeah.
But the real question is, what does this all mean for you
Yeah. That's a good question.
out there listening?
Yeah. If we kind of connect this to the bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
I think it really highlights this enduring power of art to touch our lives.
Okay.
From ancient cave paintings to, cutting-edge contemporary art. It's a language that transcends, like we were saying, time and culture,
Yeah.
offering us this window into the human soul.
So, I mean, what are you waiting for?
Right.
Get out there and experience it firsthand.
Yeah.
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 Visit a local gallery or a museum.
Yeah.
Let a painting, pull you in.
Yeah.
Spark a conversation with your own soul. You might be surprised by what you discover.
Absolutely. And remember, there's no right or wrong way to interpret art. Just be open to the experience, let your emotions guide you, and enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive today.
It's been a pleasure.
I really enjoyed it.
Me too.